Hello! Hello, hello! It is Tuesday! Got there. Nailed it. It's Tuesday. It's Mario Party. Hello, hello, Antonio. Hello, Blue. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. And nice. Love the streak. Alright, I believe I've been on this unintentional tear through Mario Party 2 when we have one stop left to go. It's Bowser time. It is the time of the Bowsers. It is Bowser time. And that's how Bowser time works. He shows up, he spits fire, and we all die. Except for his favorites. He keeps the favorites, which is me, because Bowser's my main man. Anywho! Sure, I'll be Luigi today. I'll throw in Mario, Wario, and Peach. Sure. All the same, all on hard. because that's just how I roll. Fitty. And bonuses on. You can't have Mario Party without any bonuses. And yes, these settings are okay. Alright. Bowserland, no costumes here. We are dressed as ourselves. We are dressed for the occasion. Hello. I love that Bowser stops by and like, hey. Because, I mean, we all find out that in the credits, this is all just like a big stage play anyway. So, yeah, you gotta take your little curtain call as the villain, as the bad guy. Oh, what do they call it? The BBEG? The big bad evil guy? I did not know what that meant until like a month ago, honestly. I couldn't even figure it out with context clues. It just went right over my head. I really had to look it up. Because I've seen it when people talk about, like, you know, bad guys and villains. And in my mind, I just couldn't quite piece it together. Until I'm like, I ought to just Google it. Like, and it's like, in my mind, like, I knew it was bad guy. You know, I knew it was, like, the antagonist, the evil person, right? I figured that much, but I didn't know what the acronym stood for. Until I Googled it like a month ago, and it's big bad evil guy. The more you know. The more you know. Alright. We're gonna immediately message be fast, save every turn. Alright, we are good. Let's do it. It's Tuesday. Nothing super duper spectacular about Tuesdays. I say Tuesday used to be my favorite day of the week when I was, younger, because, there would be a brand new episode of Code Lyoko on, Cartoon Network on Tuesdays. Yep. Like Tuesdays at like 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock? Somewhere in like that late afternoon time frame, because it was like, oh man, it's Tuesday. I get to go home from school, turn on Cartoon Network, and watch a new episode of Code Lyoko. I loved Code Lyoko. I was even talking about it the other day with my husband. Like, cause, there's like a YouTube video that we saw floating around, and it's something about like, comfort cartoons that you need to rewatch as an adult or whatever. And it's like, man, comfort cartoon could mean something, could be like completely different to someone. Like, my childhood comfort cartoon could be different than, say, your comfort childhood cartoon. It can be totally different. Because I had a handful of cartoons that I absolutely loved and adored. I grew up, you know, I'm one on the younger side of millennials, so like I'm 30 years old. And I grew up with like the early 2000s like cartoons. You got like, you know, with like Powerpuff Girls, Foster's Home for the Imaginary Friends, Dexter's Lab. You know, I grew up like that era. So I loved Powerpuff Girls when I was little. 1, 2. Yeah, I love Powerpuff Girls. Fun fact. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, fun fact about me is when I was like 4 or 5, my favorite color was green because Buttercup was my favorite Powerpuff Girl. And then it changed to purple at some point because it was like, Mom likes purple. I see purple everywhere. I like this purple, so it became my favorite color. But yeah, my favorite color used to be green because I really liked Buttercup. She was my favorite. Yeah. But yeah, like I grew up in the era of like, you know, Powerpuff Girls, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Dexter's Lab, what other early Courage Cowardly Dog, Ed, Edd n Eddy. Like that's like the era I grew up in. And can't forget, like, you know, like, Nickelodeon classics like Rugrats, trying to remember. All I can think of is Rugrats. There were way more. There were way SpongeBob, obviously. That's still running, I think. Anyone remember, I think it was on Nickelodeon. Anyone remember the show Chalk Zone? Was his name like Rudy? That had like the magic chalk and he would make a circle, a portal to the Chalk Zone, and shenanigans would ensue. Anyone remember Chalk Zone? I kind of remember that. Others like Doug, Hey Arnold. Yeah, those are the jam. But like some of my comfort cartoons I discovered on Cartoon Network. I mentioned Code Lyoko. Code Lyoko was one of my favorites. That's why Tuesdays were my favorite day of the week for a long time when I was a kid. And Code Lyoko, Shaolin Showdown. I absolutely loved Shaolin Showdown. And then Teen Titans, the 03 animation. I loved Teen Titans. I remember like, not quite, maybe 10 years ago? No, 8 or 9 years ago, me and my husband rewatched Teen Titans online. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I love Teen Titans. Starfire was my favorite. I also really liked Raven and Cyborg. I loved everyone, man, but Starfire was like my top. Which is pretty weird because like Raven, I think, was a lot of people's favorites. I also really liked Raven and her story, but I really wish Starfire got that big story arc that everyone else got. But they canceled the show before then, so... Woo. Just scarf mac and cheese and now I need a nap? Man, Blue. How dare you scarf mac and cheese and need a nap? And the food coma creeps up on you. But yeah, Chalk Zone. Yeah. I feel like, ow, woo! I turned to grab my bottle of green tea and like a weird jolt ran through my shoulder and my whole arm. Ow, I get those occasionally. They're not very fun. 399.9k points! Holy shit! That's a lot. That is a lot. I don't know how much Vegito has, but I do know he's a little cheeky. He is very cheeky because he has mod powers, because of course he's a mod. So if he wants Carbessa, he just makes it so and just refunds himself the points. And I'm like, if that's like, if abusing your mod powers is that and only that, then you know what? Sure. But yeah, that's like the only thing he does to like quote unquote abuse his mod powers is like, I think on like regular costume changes he leaves it alone, but like on the big Carbessa, he's like, I'm just gonna refund myself the points because I can. It's like, and you can't stop me. It's like, you're right, I can't stop you. I technically can by removing his mod power, but why would I do that? Why would I do that? He does not need his mod power removed. And hello, Roxas. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Imagine doing that. I know. Crazy. And that is how he rolls. But also, it's like, he doesn't do it super duper often, because I know most days he's busy with work. I want to say he redeemed Carbessa on Friday. I'm pretty sure he did that immediately afterwards. So anytime you see Vegito redeem Carbessa, just know he's doing it for free, essentially. Okay. Ear. Ear. Hat. Nose needs down. think we're good. I would never do such a thing. But also, you don't redeem anything. You do not redeem anything. So even if you, like, even if you were to do such a thing, you don't spend your points anyway. You don't spend your points anyway. Pokemon Legends ZA? Pokemon Home app? Yeah, I did get home compatibility. Haven't really done much in ZA after I stopped playing. And it's like, I can go back in and play it whenever I want, honestly, because it's like, man, the DLC is kind of a slog. And like, the story of the DLC is good, and I do recommend, if you do have the DLC for ZA, to play it at least up till like credits for the DLC. I do recommend that at least, but like, man, it is kind of a slog, not gonna lie. And here's one funny thing that my husband ran into when he played. He was running out of storage space. He was running out of storage space in his boxes in-game. So he really had to like organize his stuff. He really had to organize his stuff and just like get rid of a bunch. So yeah, I'm frugal. I know you are. You were talking about it yesterday too. Which, it's like, here's my conundrum with money and spending. I hate spending money on myself. Like, give me like 10 bucks and be like, hey, spend this on yourself. I'd be like, I don't know what to do with this. I wouldn't know what to do with it. Like, maybe go get myself like lunch somewhere at Sonic, maybe get myself a drink at Sonic. I don't know. But like, you give me 10 bucks and tell me to spend on myself, I don't know what to do. I couldn't tell you what I would do with it. But if you give me like 20 bucks to spend on someone else, I'd be spending that money immediately. Like, I am definitely more apt to spend money on other people than I am myself, because it's like, hey, I saw this thing and thought of you. Here you go. Or like, oh, if someone's like, for example, Allie's birthday's coming up. So it's like, well, time to spend money on Allie for her birthday. I already have a gift in mind that I want to pick up. But you know, it's like, hey, her birthday's coming up. Let's spend it on someone else. Like, oh, hey, I saw this really cute outfit for the girls. Let's pick it up. You know, like, I'm more apt to spend money on other people. It's like, oh, hey, this is Vegeto's favorite candy bar. I'm gonna pick it up so he can have a sweet treat. Or it's like, hey, I know he needs new shirts. So here's one for like $5 that I found. You know, it's like, I'm definitely more apt to spend money on myself. Or spend money on other people rather than myself. And Peach, that was very evil of you. That was very evil, but not very nice. So, yeah, like, give me 10 bucks and be like, hey, spend this on yourself. I'd be like, what? But then give me 20 bucks, be like, go get someone a present. I'd be like, yes. Easy peasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh, I ain't reaching the... Oh, shoot. Dang it, I wasn't gonna reach the parade. Peach screwed me. Damn. That was so rude. Anywho. But yeah, I also kind of... My dad was kind of the same way. So I guess I come by it honest, because my dad... Man, if I only had like one more roll. I could have saved myself. Yeah, my dad, he was the type of man, like, if he had 50 bucks for himself and he needed something, he would go without to save money. But if anyone needed any help and he had $100 in his pocket, it's a no-brainer. He would give him the $100 in his pocket. Dude. Anyway. But yeah, if my dad had, like, you know, a little bit of money that he needed to save for himself, or like money that he needed to spend on himself if he needed something, he'd find a way to not spend that money. But if he had like $100 in his pocket and like one of his kids or a close friend needed help, he would spend that $100 in a heartbeat to help them. So it's like, yeah, that's the kind of man my dad was. So, but my mom was definitely a cheap ass. I don't remember. I want to say she said 3 things that you should not buy the name brand of. Or 3 things you should not buy the off-brand of. There we go. Fixed it. And I don't remember. I think hot sauce, because she loved her hot sauce. She was a hot sauce fiend. Specifically, if I don't see it around anymore. It came back like once 10 years ago. Or 12 years ago. It was like 2014. There goes all my money. There goes my money. There goes my money. Money, 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 money. Goodbye, money, yeah. Anyway. I don't know if anyone knows this specific brand of hot sauce. It's Red Devil hot sauce. They discontinued it at some point, but then they brought it back in like 2014. And all us kids made it a big deal. I remember seeing it at Walmart around that time. It was like Christmas time. So it's like, hey, let's get mom some Red Devil hot sauce for Christmas. And I think she got a bunch of Red Devil hot sauce that year for Christmas. But yeah, hot sauce, she, you know, would spend the money on that. Never get store brand toilet paper. And there was one other thing that I do not remember what it was. But I want to say she always said like 3 things. And it was like hot sauce, toilet paper, and like something else. I don't remember. It's escaping me. But yeah, there's like, my mom was always like the frugal one. Always trying to like save money, trying to cheap out. But she grew up in a crazy environment and everything that I don't really want to get too into because it is rough. She had a rough childhood. But yeah, Dad would be like, I've got $50 in my pocket. I can get something I really need right now. But nope, I'm gonna save the money because I can wait on it. Or I was like, oh hey, here's this thing. It's like, oh hey, my child needs help. I've got $100 right here. Here you go. Because my dad would always like try anything to like help me out. And there've been several occasions where he would come over to our apartment, clean our carpets, because he was a carpet cleaner. He would clean our carpets, and he would give me money. Instead of me paying him for his services, for his carpet cleaning services, he would give me money. It's like, hey, here you go, here's some extra cash. Make sure Allie's fed, because it was only Allie at the time, because Riley was born after Dad died. It's like, hey, make sure that kiddo's fed. It's like, okay. I loved my dad. He was so awesome. Anyway, I was jamming. I zoned out for a second. But yeah, I've been very fortunate enough to have a good relationship with my parents, and a lot with my mom was definitely in retrospect after she passed away, because there was a lot of like, you know, negative feelings with like a lot, but like there was a lot of good she did. Like she wasn't like, you know, like humans are super nuanced. Like if I tell you, you know, the stories of like my mom, you know, making comments about my body, comparing me to my sister all the time, you think that she was just like a terrible mom just from those stories. But like there was also a lot of good in her too. Like anything us kids did, she would be supporting us 100%. She backed us up. She was our #1 cheerleader. You know? And if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't have gotten into college where I did. And also that domino effect of me meeting my husband over there. But like she also got me, well, at the college that I went to for the dance team, they had already had their tryouts. My mom, you know, doing research, she emailed the dance cheer coach there and asked about like, hey, you know, can my daughter still like try out? And they're like, yeah, just bring her up here at this day, this time, and we'll see how it goes. And there you have it. That's pretty much what happened. So if it wasn't for my mom, that wouldn't have happened. So like my mom did everything she could to help support us kiddos. She did like literally everything. So, but like, you know, it's one of them like later on in her life, she kind of got a little lazy, but like overall, like there was good and bad, you know, just like, you know, as much as I lift up my dad and say lots of good things about him, you know, he didn't used to be all that good. You know, like he drank a lot, he got angry. I grew up hearing my parents argue all the time. But like, that's the version of mom and dad that I got, being the youngest. Like they argued a lot. I think they almost divorced one time. I'm not entirely sure. I usually just kept to myself. Anytime I hear them arguing, I just stayed in my room. So, but yeah, that's just one thing. Like humans are so nuanced. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand, especially in the online space. I see it a lot in like, well, there's some things that you probably shouldn't say about people on the internet, like partner shaming I've seen be rampant on TikTok. It's mostly a wife bashing her husband for a silly little TikTok. It's usually like they film like, oh, a messy bedroom or something, like, oh, look at all these clothes, who doesn't do the laundry, it's my husband, and everyone's like, yeah, you should divorce him. But then they stay together and people are shocked. It's like, dude, what are we doing? I don't want to land on a battle space. I'll just go up here. So yeah, it's like, oh my god, my husband doesn't do the dishes, and like comments are like, divorce him. But there are some cases where it's like, holy shit, that is terrible. Why are you still with this person? Like, you know, male or female, you know, whatever. It's like, they say something objectively terrible. It's like, why are you with this person? Even, there was one that I saw earlier today, and it's of like, I think this wife telling a story about like, how she's like, hey, can we go do this at this time? It's something that she had really wanted to do and was looking forward to, and the husband just, like, very all huffy puffy, real angry about it, and throwing a tantrum about it because he didn't want to do it. But then when it came the time, it's like, you still want to go? And it's like, no, I don't want to go because you're being all butthead about it. And it's one of those, like, you guys just don't like each other. At that point, like, that's when you really need to work. It's when you really need to work on your marriage and decide whether or not it's worth it or not, you know? I'm just repeating words, but it's fine. So, but, like, a lot of the general, like, I say this one negative quality about someone and the internet immediately is like, divorce him. Like, I'm sure, you know, it's like, hey, I get lazy sometimes. I procrastinate. If someone said that about me, people would be like, yeah, divorce her. She's a lazy sack of shit. And it's like, now the shoe's on the other foot. But like, I have other good qualities once I get over my laziness and procrastinating. I'm very self-aware of my flaws. I am very self-aware. But like, you know, it's like you hear one negative trait about someone and it suddenly becomes the end-all be-all of that character, or, you know, that person's character and everything. And it's like, humans are way more nuanced than that. And it's just really insane. Oh, I couldn't get the 2 for 1. Yeah, humans are way more nuanced. There's good and bad qualities. That's why people enjoy complex characters, because it makes them human. It gives them a sense of like reality, or like you can imagine, you know, them as an actual person. Because of the complexity. Like, not every character has to be like super duper, okay, let's start my thought over. Not every like fictional character needs to be super duper nuanced and complex, morally gray as some characters are. Not every single character has to be that complex. But we don't need characters that are super duper one note either. Because, trying to think of examples. For whatever reason, my TikTok feed has been a lot of, Miraculous, Tale of Ladybug and Cat Noir. Like, several years ago, it was on Netflix for a little bit, and it was only 3 seasons when I watched it the first time. I threw it on because it looked really interesting, and Allie really liked it when she was about 4 or 5. I think it was like 2020-ish. Or was it 2019? I don't remember. Anyway, she was like 4 or 5, and she really liked Ladybug and Cat Noir and everything, and I really liked it too. The writing was like super duper good. And it's like, okay, cool. And then, I think it eventually got taken off, or, something, life events happened, and I just, like, stopped watching it, or Allie went to school, or something like that. I don't really remember. I stopped watching it, and I'd only seen, like, the first 3 seasons. When it suddenly popped back up on in my life on my TikTok page, suddenly there's been 3 more seasons and an animation style change, or an art style change, and a lot happened. I've gotten a TLDR throughout all the TikToks I have watched, and a lot of it is like super duper complicated. One thing that kind of sucks is like the character Chloe from Miraculous. The creators hated her, and so they purposefully snubbed her redemption arc. And it's like, why would you hate your own character that much? Anywho, I go into that saying, Marinette, your main protag, your main girl, she has become very complex, very morally gray? Question mark? Because, like, TLDR, apparently, Hawkmoth is dead. He found all the Miraculous, And he ended up, I don't know if he made the wish. I think he made the wish or something. He like died. And the whole universe got recreated or something, because that's apparently what happens when you make the wish with the Cat and Ladybug Miraculouses. Gabriel Agreste, Adrian's dad, Adrian, who is Cat Noir, the other main character, his dad was the bad guy. He was Hawkmoth, and then became Monarch at some point later, and there was a he, you know, got a hold of all the Miraculouses, became Monarch. There was a showdown with him and Marinette, and I think he made the wishes and the whole thing, but like he wrote a letter something, and it's supposed to be to Adrian, and Marinette's supposed to be, you know, supposed to give it to him, but like she's hesitating because she doesn't want to hurt Adrian. Also, Marinette and Adrian are a couple, which surprises me, honestly, because like the whole first few seasons are her just pining after him and like borderline stalking him. Like, there were definitely some things that she did that were super duper cringe, but she's also a teenager, like 14, 15 or something, supposed to be. But now in like season 6, she's got a whole bunch of like adult responsibilities. She became the Guardian after season 3. Like, the season 3 finale was Master Fu relinquishing his guardianship and gave it to Ladybug. So Ladybug is the guardian of all the Miraculouses. Where's the... Oh, it's in the corner, that's right. So, like, she's in charge of everything, but then also there's the haunting of the narrative of Gabriel Agreste being the big evil guy, you know, the BBEG, as I've learned. But, like, everyone knows Gabriel Agreste is, like, this fashion designer, but she... I think Ladybug panics and says that Gabriel Agreste was the one that saved everyone, and not the fact that he was Monarch. And Adrian is none the wiser. He doesn't know. He's a little suspicious because he knows his dad wasn't like a super good guy. You know, his dad kind of neglected him quite a bit. And there's this whole thing, and Marinette's hiding the truth from him to protect him. But that's not gonna do anyone any good, because the secret is haunting her. The secret is eating her alive, and the reason she's hiding the truth from him is to protect him. And it's like what she thinks is best for Adrian is protecting him, hiding the truth from him, but that's exactly what Gabriel did to him. So the theory is like, oh, the season 6 finale is going to be the truth coming out, you know, and all the can of worms are going to be spilled. But also the complexity of the problem, and Marinette becoming, you know, like Gabriel Agreste, who's like haunting the narrative in season 6. So it's a whole freaking thing. It's like, is she morally gray? Because like she's doing everything in her power to keep the truth from Adrian. But also, Marinette, who is Ladybug, does not know who Cat Noir is. No one really knows who Cat Noir is. Like, no one really knows Cat Noir is Adrian. So... So, it's like... So it's like his identity has been a secret, and like Ladybug is none the wiser. She used to rely on Cat Noir quite a bit. But, you know, here lately it's like he's been kind of just what's the expression? Fish out of water, just kind of out of the loop. Like, he doesn't know what's going on. It's like, but once he finds out that this big ol' freaking lie, this big ol' secret has been kept from him, like, all hell will break loose. So, it's a whole freaking thing. It's a whole thing, and the complexity of Marinette, and also having to shoulder a lot of these adult responsibilities. Why would you give me this? Yeah, shouldering these adult responsibilities as like a 15-year-old is terrible. It's so bad. Hello, DA. Hello, welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. So having like a very complex main character can benefit the narrative. Like a, miraculous situation with how crazy Marinette's character has become and the trials she faces. And just the complexity of everyone else. But you don't need, like, every single character to be that complex. And you also don't need, like, one-note characters, too. Because, like, one of my favorite things is when, like, a character who is presented as one-note shows hidden depth to their character. That's one of my favorite things. It's like hidden depth in ways like, oh, they could be the secret bad guy, or oh, they had the serious side, oh, they were holding back their power, or it was time to step up and be serious and sacrifice themselves or something. It's like when, like, oh, the token funny guy, turns serious all of a sudden. It's like, holy shit, he means business. Like, that's one of my favorite things. So, yeah. That's the kind of complexity. And you don't need, like, super duper, like, you don't need, like, 500 layers to every single character. But a few hidden layers here and there, would be great. 400k, let's go. Doing great. And the pasta is doing okay. So yeah, it's like you don't need every single character to have 500 layers, but you don't need them to be like one note and boring either. I see a lot of it in media. I think it's getting a little bit better, but maybe it's just finding the right media that I'm consuming kind of, I know there was a big problem like a few years ago where like a lot of female characters are gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. They were like the token girl boss. They were the Mary Sues. They couldn't do anything wrong. They understood things from the first go. It's like, oh, they only had to be explained to one time and then they could just do it. They had like 0 flaws. What's her name from Star Wars? Rey? Is that her name? Yeah, she's a Mary Sue. I haven't seen the movies, but I've seen character analysis. And there's a lot, like Captain Marvel kind of fell into that too. Like the whole Mary Sue couldn't do no wrong. Girl boss. And it's like, it's boring. It's like, oh, when a female character shows like 0 femininity and they're just girl bossing their way through life and then there's like no flaws or anything, they have nothing negative happen to them. It's like, that's boring. It's boring. And also, it teaches the wrong message that if you are in the slightest bit feminine, you're seen as weak, which is no. And like, I was a tomboy growing up. I really didn't like hardly any girly things growing up, so, I always thought that. But looking back on it after growing up a lot and, like looking back, it's one of those, you know what, hell yeah. Do what you want to do. You know, like, who cares if you're girly and like to wear dresses and love pink? Who cares? Who cares if you love to race dirt bikes, or play sports or race cars and wear jeans all the time? Like, who cares? Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. And just because people embrace a more masculine role or a more feminine role in their life, it doesn't matter. People have strengths and weaknesses no matter what. Woo. So, because, like, it's one of those, I've grown older. I'm 30 years old. You know, there's a lot of things I've learned to embrace over the years. And it's like, well, I can still have my style while still remaining, you know, fairly tomboyish. You know, I can dip into the femininity here and there, as long as I'm still me. But yeah, like the girl boss trope, it has to be done right now because it's been everywhere in the last like 5-10 years. It's been everywhere. So, it upsets me that Disney won't do love stories anymore. It's actually okay for women to be in love. Yeah, it is. That is our question of the day. What's your favorite trope? I mentioned it earlier. One of my favorites is when, like, the goofy, funny character turns serious and it's like, oh shit. But, yeah, I think the shift with Disney not doing love stories anymore potentially could have started with Frozen. And the thing is, it was great because there were plenty of love stories at the time, and then they did something different with more sisterly love and that kind of, you know, familial, you know, bonds. And then there were plenty of other, like, movies that didn't really focus much on love, but, like, had a clear narrative. Now it's like every woman is gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, and it's like, no, we don't need this. Or it's like, again, you have to do it right. And it does feel overplayed that, like, sometimes, like, the tough exterior reveals a soft inside. Trauma, right? Because trauma can do a lot to a person. And sometimes that happens with female characters, and it's like, sometimes you gotta do it right. Like, yeah, it's all over the place now. But, I had a brain fart. Oh my god. Yeah, you can have, like, the tough exterior, soft inside, and still make it compelling. You know? So, I grew up on the Disney love stories. They were so powerful to me as a kid and taught me what to seek and desire as a little girl, and now they keep remaking beloved childhood movies, but this time she's a girl boss who doesn't need a man. Yeah. I feel like Emma Watson did more damage to the Beauty and the Beast remake than good. Because, I've heard people like the live-action Beauty and the Beast, but I've also heard people don't really like it because of certain things. I've heard Emma Watson had some hands in, like, the script and everything, and it's like, you know, I don't want to blame, like, specific people, but, I mean, there's some things where it's like, And also, Belle was strong anyway. She had her strengths. She was, you know, she read books a lot, but, like, she was still really brave. You know, she wasn't, like, scared of anything. She wasn't scared of the Beast, but she, you know, was brave enough to be like, let my dad go, take me instead. Oh. Hi. I mean, my two favorite Disney movies growing up were Beauty and the Beast and Mulan. So, yeah. I think it's why I wanted to be clear in my writing that Adeline is by all means a girl boss who doesn't need a man, but she wants one, and ends up with a very tender romance because that's okay for a woman to have. You can be both. Exactly. Duality exists for a reason. it's like what I said earlier, it's like we can have a little bit of complexity. We can have more than one layer for a character. Yeah, you can have more than one layer for a character. You know? So one example, and also it's like, don't listen to like other people and let other people influence your writing in a bad way. Cause I don't remember if I talked about it once before. I might have. This bugs me so bad. This bugs me so bad. And I understand this day and age. There's a lot of things that are normalized, like, you know, same-sex couples in media. Like, there's stuff that are normalized, and like, to me it's like, cool, they exist. No reason to, like, you know, just shit on them, you know, like, love is love. So, like, you know, I don't care. But I do care if it feels shoved in my face. That's when I care. And it's like, if they're just, like, you know, two people, like, if someone has two dads, like, what's the show? The Loud House on Nickelodeon. It was actually pretty good. And, I think one of the characters, like, Clyde? Is that his name? I don't remember his name. But he has two dads, but they're like, their personalities work really well together, and it like doesn't matter. But yeah, it's when it just gets, that kind of thing just gets, or like forced. Forced is probably the better term I'm looking for. Sorry, I'm like sorting out my thoughts in real time. One of the most egregious things with that is RWBY. Rooster Teeth Productions, RWBY. RWBY, RWBY. I watched up till like volume 5. I think I kind of started volume 6, but like I only watched up to volume 5 because I think at some point they stopped uploading it to YouTube, and that's when I stopped watching. The most egregious thing is they let the fans bully them so bad they had to make their headcanon actual canon. Because why would you set up Blake to have chemistry with Sun throughout several volumes? They had such chemistry. It's like, that's it. That's beautiful chemistry. Beautiful development. All for it to be thrown away because the fans threw a bitch fit. Ugh, it's like, again, I don't care if like two girls get together or two men get together. Like, I don't care. I care when it's forced. I don't care if it's a beautifully written ship. Hell, some of my favorite fandom ships are like, you know, the MLM or WLW, whatever. Like, some of my favorite ships are that. Like, hey, Danganronpa fans, Komahina and, Sayoma. Hi, those are my two favorite ships in the whole freaking franchise. Because I love their character dynamics. Doesn't matter if they're two boys or not. The character dynamic is just so good. Anywho, Yang and Blake hardly ever interacted. But also, the writing got so bad, and it was after Moniohm's passing. It was just bad, unfortunately. But yeah, like, Yang and Blake hardly ever interacted with one another. And also, not to mention, they just fucking glossed over Yang's PTSD. It was a focus in volume 4 when they were all split up and kind of doing their own things. But after she gets the cool robot arm, it's like all the trauma goes away. It's like, you don't slap a band-aid on PTSD. You don't slap a band-aid over losing a limb. You don't get to fucking slap a band-aid over that. It bugged me so bad. Bugged me so bad. And Weiss was my favorite character, by the way. I loved her. She was like the only reasonable one and the one that had the best writing. I'm gonna be real. Yeah, Yang and Link weren't supposed to be together. And I'm probably behind. I think it's hard for the young boys too. It's teaching them that women don't want men, steering them away from traditional chivalrous romance. My theory is that contributes to male loneliness epidemic and violence towards women. Imagine growing up being shown media that no one wants you. I had to be lonely too. Yeah, for sure. And they caved from pressure from the shippers. They did. Hardcore. Got checked out? Yeah, I heard about that. And, props to the mangaka because she was not taking any shit from people. And it's fans like that ruin media for a lot of different people. Look at you, My Hero Academia! Because, people that shipped, Midoriya and Bakugo lost their ever fucking minds on the finale. It's like, dude, Deku always had a crush on Ochako. He always had a crush on her. Like, dude, like, I love the dynamic of them finally, like, being friends, but, like, bro tormented him in the childhood. Like, dude, ugh, it drives me insane. But yeah, I did hear about that. Like, they were hardcore bullying her about it. Refused to confirm the hurricanes. Yeah, it's awful. It was so bad. Alright. Give me the fish. Whee! Whee. Manga was, yeah, Gachagata fans bullying mangaka because she refused to confirm their headcanons. Mangaka was like, no, these characters are not gay, this character is not trans. People are sending her death threats and stuff to the point she had to publicly say, hey, international fans, stop talking about your headcanons around me, this is getting out of hand. Yeah, it's so stupid when the actual author has to tell you shit about their own characters. Like, you don't bully people about characters they created. Don't you think they would know their own characters the best? And it's like, that's why it's called a headcanon. So it stays in your head. And it's fun to theorize, but don't take it too far. People love to take things too far. It's insane. Yeah, cool robot arm cures PTSD. Yeah, it totally does. Me when the character who crushed on Uraka for like 10 seasons finally gets with her route and then decided to be gay for a guy that bullied the hell out of him his whole life. Yeah. Like, they were legit, like, crying. I remember when the manga ended, it was stupid. And then when the anime ended, it was stupid again because the Bakudeku, is that the ship name? It's like, hold on. I have two babies. Two turns. Okay. Yeah, Bakudeku shippers are like the reason why people don't watch My Hero. Because they get so insane with it. And it's like, no one wants to be around that. It's like shipping culture in the K-pop fandom space. You know, it gets so bad. It's so bad and I hate it. It's like, I understand loving a specific dynamic. And it's like, you know, a ship can be any kind of ship. It could be a relationship or a friendship. I do kind of like the blooming friendship that they kind of had later when, you know, they kind of both got over, started actually working together, put their differences aside. You know, because, like, I like the dynamic between Bakugo and Deku. You know, I really like the dynamic. But do I ship it romantically? No. No. But also, I'll mention something else. I did mention, hey, Sayoma is one of my favorite ships in Danganronpa. Shuichi Saihara and Kokichi Oma. Love those two. I love their dynamic. But also, I love that ship a lot. But I'm not going to tarnish the people who ship Kaede and Shuichi. I'm not gonna do that. Because, like, they had pivotal moments in the game. And, you know, people can ship it. I mean, it's a cute ship. I love the dynamic. And it was really important to the story of Danganronpa V3. But, like, I'm not gonna shit on other people's ships. I'm not gonna ship on the creator for not making this specific ship canon. Like, that's stupid. That is feral behavior. It's insane that people do that. Fandoms ruin media in one way or another. And it's always the extreme ones. It's always the extreme ones. I needed that drink. Yeah, the important part is that they're teenagers. And I think I've seen clips of the finale and I've seen the manga panels. There is like a time skip and they are like adults at the very end finale. But I know most of the shipping was going on during the main series, which again, they're teenagers. But also, you know, when they're grown adults, you know, they're gonna... Yeah, Deku always had a crush on Ochako, and Ochako, I think she said something about it, like, in canon, so it's like, dude. And also, Toga and Uraraka. People are crazy about that one, too, and it's like, sometimes I feel like people just go crazy over the gay ships just because it's a gay ship. And it's like, again, I'm all for shipping whatever. Just don't go crazy with it. Because again, one of my favorite ships is Sayoma or Komahina. And they're also like teenagers. Because I love their dynamic. And it's like, could a romance bloom from that dynamic? Sure. Sure. And it's like, I love it. I've read many a fanfic and many a good fanfic with like that good dynamic. So, for me to like a ship, it's gotta have a good dynamic between the two characters. Doesn't matter if it's a hetero or, you know, a gay ship, I don't care. As long as it has a good dynamic. Even if they're just bros and have a good friendship, hell, I ship it just off the bromance, you know? You know? It's like, I just like good character dynamics. You're going to getting so heated about the relationship of a bunch of 15-year-olds. You're being Bakudeka shippers. Yeah. Yeah, they're insane. They're insane. I think mainly I just wanted to get the whole Ruby thing off my chest because it bugged me so bad for years. Because it's like, what dynamic did they even have? People ship them together because of the cool ship name Bumblebee. That's it. Because they're black and yellow. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, that's really the only reason why they were shipped. Because Blake had a better dynamic with Sun. 100% she did. And that was going to be the romantic pair. More than likely. But no, they let the shippers bully them. Instead of standing their ground and saying, no. You don't get to pivot your own damn story because the fans demand it. Just take them on the roller coaster ride. You're building the roller coaster. Let them be on the ride. Don't let them control where the roller coaster goes. And hello, Gold. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Sorry, I'm ranting. That's normal around here. Ah, yes, Ruby dynamics. Yeah. And it's like, I stopped watching Ruby after Volume 5. Because it's one of those, I think that's when they stopped posting to YouTube, because that's how I watched it. I watched it on YouTube. So, Weiss was my favorite character. Sun was also really funny, because I loved Sun and Blake. I love their dynamic. You know, that's Golden Retriever and Black Cat, like, literally. I say literally, but Sun's a monkey. Anyway, But yeah, like, the dynamic of, like, Golden Retriever and Black Cat, you know? That's a good dynamic. Sunshine. The Sunshine and Grouch, you know? Like, I love that dynamic. It's so good. So, it's like I love it so much. Yeah! And then the fans demanded Yang and Blake get together, and they listened to the fans, and it ruined the story. I think the writing was getting really bad anyway, and that was just like the icing on the cake. It was the cherry on top for me, and it's like, no, because I kind of half-assed kept up with it afterward, just to see what Volume 6 was all about. And then... and then I just stopped caring, because there were a lot of changes that they made, and I was just like, I cannot gel with the story anymore. So, and I even mentioned earlier that, like, they just completely glossed over Yang's PTSD. It was a big plot point in Volume 4, because she, like, lost her arm in the fight in Volume 3. And, her mental struggles with that were kind of a focal point for her character in Volume 4, but the moment they gave her a cool robot arm, it just went out the window. It's like she didn't have PTSD anymore. It's like, dude, you can't just slap a band-aid on PTSD. You cannot slap a band-aid over a severed limb. Like, you can't do that. It's not how it works. You started the Yang Blake hand-holding scene. I remember seeing bits and pieces of some of this stuff, but, like, again, I stopped caring. So I would see clips on Facebook, so I think I still follow the Facebook page. So I would see clips here and there, but, like, I hardly ever get on Facebook anymore. So it's like I hardly see anything anymore. Where? I'm so lost. Oh, hey. Hi. Oh. I'm bad as the driver. I don't like driving. Woo. So yeah, it's like... It's one thing to, like, listen to your audience on a couple things. When you're actively writing a story beginning to end, you are the one in control. The author is the one in control of the story. Now, there are exceptions to the rule about, you know, the author being in control of the story. If you are writing a story for an active live audience, like week by week, like, hey, pro wrestling, then sometimes you gotta pay attention to fan reactions. Are they liking the story? Are they not liking the story? Do they like specific people? Do they not like specific people? Do they want to see more of specific people? Then it's like, yeah, you can pivot and rework a story that way based off of live fan reaction, but that is a completely different subset. So before you get me started on, like, exceptions to the rule, most generally it's like, if you're writing, like, a book or a comic or manga or, you know, whatever, a webtoon, it's your story. It's your story to tell. Do not let fans bully you into changing your story, because that will ruin the integrity of the writing. I think it's a perfect example of the shift in writing from 3 to 4. Like, my god! I know. And it's like, I liked Yang at first, you know? I liked her. I really did. And it's like, yo, she got her arm chopped off? Let's see how the aftermath of that goes. And it's like, if you're going to do a really, like, big plot point of your story, like, oh, someone gets their arm chopped off, or someone, you know, like, you know, character death, or, you know, someone goes through trauma in any way, shape, or form. It's like, the aftermath is just as important as, the moment itself. Because, like, oh, you can have a big old traumatic event. Hit the button! You can have a big old traumatic event, but it means nothing. It means nothing if there is no follow-up. Why the button wasn't helping me? It's fine. Yang was my favorite of all time until the writing changed. Yeah. And it sucks when it's like it's characters you like. And it sucks even worse because you like them for specific reasons. And then, oh, the writing just gets thrown out the window for new shiny things or whatever. And it's like, it drives me nuts. Yeah, I've always wanted to rant about the whole Ruby thing because, like, the most egregious thing was forcing the Yang Blake ship. It was so forced. It was so forced. They really didn't need to do that. Huh. And again, like, I'm cool with whatever ship as long as you're respectful about it, and, like, also the good dynamics. Yang and Blank had, like, zero chemistry. They hardly ever interacted with one another throughout the series, you know? They hardly ever interacted. Because, like, I think Yang was mostly being like, hey, with her sister. You know, she was mostly hanging out with her sister, I think. I'm just thankful that my character, my favorite character, didn't have too bad of a character assassination. Because my favorite character was Weiss. And honestly, she had the best writing of the show. At least from what I watched, she had the best writing. And I loved her volume 4 to 5 outfit. Because I know they changed outfits. They had like a costume change essentially. Volume 4 or 5. And they changed it again in volume 6. Also, they cut Blake's hair for like no reason. She had literally no reason to cut her hair. I mean, like, dang it. Usually when someone cuts their hair in media, they make it like mean something. It's either it means, like, it can mean something in terms of like, oh, time has changed. They changed their look. You know, it's like, hey, 2 years have passed. And it's like, hey, I'm gonna get a haircut in this time. And I cut my hair. And it's just to show time has changed. But like, if you're just changing outfits and you just show up with shorter hair, it's like, why the haircut? What's the logical reason behind it? Like, it's funny because I watched a compilation of haircuts in media, because Sakura in Naruto, during the Chunin exams in the forest, that was one of my favorite scenes because it showed that she was willing to do what it takes to protect Naruto and Sasuke and Lee. Because, like, she was the last line of defense, and she had long hair. Because, you know, when they were kids, she had a crush on Sasuke, and they're like, oh, Sasuke likes girls with long hair! And then both her and Ino grew out their hair. And then, you know, Keen, I think that was her name, I don't remember exactly, but, like, she grabbed Sakura by the hair. It's like, oh, you got such long hair! Kind of mocking her for it. And Sakura's like, alright, I bet. And she just chops her hair and becomes a badass for like 2 seconds. It was great. It was great. I loved that moment because it just shows some character growth. Man. Thanks. But yeah, it just shows character growth in that way. And it's like, you can't, like, people in real life get haircuts just cuz, you know? But like when it comes to like fictional media, like everything matters. Every little detail matters. It's like, oh hey, a character with long hair cuts their hair during a time skip. It's to show time has passed. That's what that usually means. You know, it's the same as like, oh, character with short hair grows their hair out during a time skip, like Nami. Nami grew her hair out. Because I've seen the post time skip designs of One Piece characters. You know, it's like, hey, you can show the passage of time. People change their looks as time passes. Telltale Games The Walking Dead, when Lee cut Clementine's hair, he's like, yeah, zombies are gonna grab your long hair. Probably ought to keep it short. And it's like, yeah, you're right. And so it always stuck with her. It's one of the things you can tell Clementine. And it's like, don't get me started on Lee. He's the GOAT. Weiss didn't take many L's at all, mostly because from what I remember, her arc was mostly done. Yeah, because her big arc was like volume 4. I want to say. That's why I paid most attention to her story in volume 4. It was an awesome Sakura moment. It was. And then she just kept her hair short. So yeah, like, haircuts can be as simplistic or as symbolic as you can make it. No. Shoot. No, I was trying to shoot. It wouldn't let me shoot. But yeah, like, and even like Mulan. I did mention one of my favorite movies growing up was Mulan. You know, when she just had her moment and locked the fuck in. You know, she cuts her hair to tie it up and disguise herself as a man. You know, that's kind of letting it go and pushing forward. You know, like, haircuts can be, you know, as symbolic as that. Or it can be, you know, like a Clementine. It's like, hey, there's zombies out there. You should keep your hair short so they don't grab it. You know? Or to show the passage of time. It's like, hey, a long hair character, a time skip happens, like a year, a few months, whatever. They can cut their hair in that time. So show time has passed. So, and you're stealing my money. So, but yeah, I know people had a lot of critiques on the RWBY designs from like volume 6 onward. I don't even know how much there is of it. I honestly could not tell you. I stopped caring after a while. I legit stopped caring. But I've seen enough to like see the new designs, and it's like they look cool. But like in like practicality, oh, it's me. In like practicality, it doesn't really do much. And it's like, I loved the kind of the slate blue dress that Weiss had in volumes 4 and 5. I really loved it. It was so pretty. It was so pretty. I liked the white coat that Blake had in that volume 4 to 5 design too. Oh, it's me again. Okay. But like, why does Weiss have a big puffy blue jacket? Why is her braid super big and looks like it weighs 500 pounds? Like, they really just went for the rule of cool without any practicality. And like, sometimes you can just do the rule of cool and it makes sense, but like, sometimes you need a little bit of practicality. Make it make sense to the character. Like, it keeps that same silhouette because she has the high ponytail to the side. But, like, making it a humongo braid is a choice. And when I think of, like, humongo braids, I think of Bianca Belair for wrestling. Because she has the big old braid, but that's her trademark, essentially. So, I say that as, I mean, I had mainly written, like, fanfictions and stuff. I wrote fanfictions when I was younger. I wrote a few in the last, like, few years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where is the star at? It's up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah, let's cut this way. So, but like, a lot of the fanfics I wrote, I had specific OCs in mind. So it's like, I've, you know, can figure out character design. And, I've alluded to like a big project that I've wanted to work on, and I tried getting started on it, but my brain won't let me. I'm thinking about, like, you know, character designs and stuff. And, you know, like, stuff has to mean something whenever you're making a character design in a media, because it's like, it's visual storytelling, whether you're writing it in words or, like, showing it in an actual character design. Like, the visuals have to mean something. Like, if you're writing a book, you gotta describe it in such a way where you can picture it in your brain. It's like, oh, why do they, you know, why do they have this physical trait? Or why, you know, why is there, why this, why that? Shoot. Hey, Bowser. So yeah. So yeah, character design is definitely a big thing when it comes to media and characters. So, like, I've got a character in mind. I don't want to go too much into detail about it, but like, her base design is, she's got like a shoulder length haircut, like full front bangs, but she hides her eyes because she was bullied for her eyes when she was younger. So she hides it. So she has these like big old heavy tinted glasses that she doesn't need because she can see perfectly fine, but she hides her eyes because she was made fun of for it. So it's like, oh hey, why does that character wear glasses? They either can't see or something about their eyes. So, but yeah, I have this character that's been like relentlessly bullied for her eyes. So, since she was young, she wears glasses so you can't see her eyes. But also, I came up with a good handful of characters when I was younger, and sometimes I bring it back, because I do remember. Yeah! 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 Dang it, Mario, why you gotta be a good dancer? So, and it's like, as much as I want to yap about, like, a lot of characters I have in my brain, I have a specific thing I would like to do with some characters, so. But yeah, it's like, characters need to have, like, reasons for design choices. Like, you should be able to kind of figure out something about the character's personality or what they do, just kind of based off the design. Like, if I give you, like, a character who has, like, bright red hair, but, like, a big block of, like, blonde in her bangs, it kind of looks like fire. So, something to do with fire. Because, ooh, the character could have fire powers. But they kind of have to look like fire, maybe. Not necessarily, but, you know. You gotta be able to tell something about a character by their appearance. It's like, oh, don't judge a book by its cover, but like, when you're trying to go character design... Bro, that was stupid. But like, you should be able to tell something by looking at the character. It's like, oh hey, looking at Peach, she wears a crown, she has a dress. You can probably assume safely that she is a princess. And judging by their actions there, you can safely assume they're both dumbasses. Hey, don't talk about me like that. Sorry, but your actions proved otherwise. Yeah, so... you know, like, as an aspiring writer, creator, you know, whatever, when I do art and stuff, so it's like, designing a character, you need to have, like, there's different, like, nitpicky things that, like, crosses your mind as you do stuff. And I'm sure, it's all crossed Blue and Gihan's mind as they created all the characters for Crown of the Alchemist. Which is a great story. I got my book in the mail, Thursday? Yeah, last Thursday. What do I have? I have a warp block. Oh yeah, I was forced to buy a warp block. Can I have some money, please? Thank you. So, yeah. Ugh. Sneak and snore. Now the fun part. I didn't touch the button! I hate this minigame, so it's fine. I kicked my mic stand, I'm sorry. The book! Yeah, the book, I have it. I have book 2. I need to get back to reading book 1. It's on my mind constantly, but I think my brain stops me every time because it's like, I know what happens. Because I read it in beta, because like, book 1 is mostly unchanged. I know book 2 has changed a little bit, and I know everything after that is like unrecognizable to me probably. So I probably should get back. And also, if you want to be a writer and want to write your own things, consuming media can definitely help, especially reading. So I need to get back to reading. In my brain, it's like, whenever I have time to, it's always like, I wanted to read a little bit last night, but once I laid in bed, I'm like, man, I am tired. It like hit me like a truck when I laid in bed. I'm like, shit. So I went to sleep. But also I could have this morning, but I got Riley running around like crazy in the mornings, and she also needed a shower this morning, and you know, getting ready for stream and school, and so it's like, just finding time in my day is rough. I have 18 coins. I can't do anything. Hey Wario, I'm gonna hang out with you. I mean, earlier than anticipated? Nice! Nice, but yeah, the book arrived on Thursday, and we had gone to Allie's school for the family night up there. So it showed up in the time between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So in that 2-hour time span, the book showed up. Because we left a little after 4? 4:15 was when we left. Because it ran from 4 to 6:30. And the family night was like, hey, you can have some food. Here's some hot dogs and chips for like the kiddos, and if you want some or whatever. And then there was a bake sale, and then there's like different like little stations for different activities. One was math based, one was art based. Oh shit. One was like you can build like a parachute for a spider to see if it, you know, lands safely or anything. And the art show, you can see the students' artwork and everything. It was really cool. And I will say though, the bake sale, there were some chocolate peanut butter cupcakes that were speaking to me, and we got them. I'm so disappointed. They weren't that good. They were not that good. And I'm so sad about that. Like, the frosting was the saving grace of the cupcake, but it was a very dry cupcake. It fell apart stupid easy. It was really hard to get a good solid bite. But yeah, the frosting that was like peanut butter flavored and it had a Reese's on it, like that was the saving grace of the cupcake. And that is such a shame. It was just not that good. Oh, I hated it. It was $10 for 4 cupcakes. And it was for a good cause, so it's for the students to get a free yearbook. So yeah, again, for a good cause. They can have the $10, but man, the cupcakes were so bad. They were bad. Oh, it was bad. Sometimes I'm convinced that book 1 is garbage and terrible. It is not, I promise you. Also, this is gonna sound really embarrassing. I'm on chapter 7 of book 1. And I've had my book 1 copy for a long time. And I even have it digitally. I've just been, life has just been insane for me. I'm on chapter 7. I keep up with the webtoon perfectly fine. But yeah, I'm on chapter 7. I'm really slow on things. Surely because it's terrible. It's not because it's terrible, it's because I'm terrible. That's why. I'm the terrible one. It's not you. It's me. The classic breakup line. It's not you, it's me. For no reason other than imposter syndrome and my growth as a writer, I understand the imposter syndrome so bad. Because, one of the things that the project I want to work on and why I'm stopping in my tracks every time I try to get started on it is imposter syndrome. Because I tried to get started on it last night and then my brain was like stopping me. It's like, no, you can't do this. You're not allowed to do this. Everyone else is so much better than you. Everyone else is so much better than you and your stuff's gonna be hot garbage. I think about that with a lot of my creative stuff. I went through heavy imposter syndrome a couple years ago when I was a part of an ex-streamer friend's big event that they held. And it included like training for a speedrun race and everything. And as it was like going on and like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, the imposter syndrome was so heavy. It was so bad. And then after the event was over, I proceeded to never talk to any of those people ever again because I don't know what happened. And then a few months later, that ex-streamer friend decided to jump my case over something I said on my stream. No, they decided to block me about something I said on my stream. I don't know. It's fine. Whatever. It's water under the bridge. No, it's not water under the bridge. The bridge has been burned. There you go. The bridge has been burned. Same spot. I want to write more of a fan game I'm working on, but I need to fully flesh out the plot, and reading and consuming media has helped me so much. Yeah, there's a lot. Like, a lot of my fanfics I wrote a few years ago have been inspired by watching different media. I know I read a Mafia AU fanfiction that inspired my own Mafia AU fanfiction that I wrote, which is one of my favorites, The Bride Operation. I have a playlist of all my fanfiction readings of stuff I wrote on my YouTube channel, but anyway. The Bride Operation was inspired by me reading another fanfiction. The Dragon Tamer was, funny enough, inspired by Final Fantasy XVI. steal all my money. But yeah, the Dragon Tamer was inspired by Final Fantasy 16. Crowned by Chaos. This one's really funny. Was inspired by, like, the first, like, 30 minutes of Final Fantasy 9. Because, my husband hopped into it just to kind of check it out. And, there was a part where it's like, let's kidnap the princess! And in my mind, it was like, what if kidnap prince? Because princes don't get kidnapped, princesses do. So it's like, what if there's a way to kidnap a prince? And so that's how Crowned by Chaos happened. So it's like inspiration is everywhere. And for a thing that I'm working on, watching One Piece has kind of inspired something. Because like my creative brain gets rolling a lot when I'm like consuming media. And then there's one time where I accidentally wrote Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That is Tale of the Garden Stone. I accidentally wrote Xenoblade 2. It was living in my brain, apparently. Even though the original inspiration came from Harry Potter, as I was watching those movies. And then when it was time to sit down and write it, I accidentally wrote Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I didn't realize it till like halfway. Shit, it got me. It's fine. There's a question of the day. What is your favorite trope? I like a lot of tropes. I like subverting tropes. Like, oh, say a trope is, you know, again, like princesses are the ones that get kidnapped. But what if prince get kidnapped? You know? That's usually my brain process. What turn are we on? 31. Okay. I'll take a break a little bit. Golfay game, smiley face. We really want to do... No! I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I have 3 coins to my name. Game jam with our deaf friends and make a silly little Coda visual novel dating game. Ooh, that'd be fun. I think it'd be so... It would be. Love to do that. Need get better at doing... Yeah. I have no idea what would ever be able... I have no idea when we would be able to, between the webtoon and streaming, Gion's job and writing the book. And we also want to make an audiobook, but it's so real. It would be so easy. VNs are the easiest games to make. We have Gion do the art, I write it, and we just need one person on OST and a handful of people who know how to code. Not me! I don't know anything about technology. When you think about a visual novel game, is really just PowerPoint with more steps. Yeah, pretty much. I've always wanted to like try and dabble in like RPG Maker. I've always wanted to. I think it'd be really fun. Because I feel like I can put out like a banging story that can become like a video game. But like, the actual making the game process would be insane. Just let me write the story and then we'll be okay. What turn are we on? 31. We just had one, so no. 4 turns, yeah. We have a friend who makes video game OSTs and does coding software stuff. I don't know how tech jobs work. So I'm sure he'd be interested in it too. Yeah, it does sound really fun. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I would like love to do, but I just don't have the resources for it. I remember, this is like back in 2020, like exactly 6 years ago, because it was around this time, where I think Webtoon had a short story contest. And I was like, I can come up with a short story, and I had like stuff planned out, but when it came time to like actually making the webtoon, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work for me to do by myself with the programs that I had. So... Come on, I want to pause it. Let me pause it. Okay. But yeah, and it's like, would it be really cool for me to, like, make my own webtoon? Sure, but, like, I cannot do it by myself. I don't have the finances to outsource without people just straight up volunteering. But also, it's like, what time do I even have? What time do I even have? I'm lucky enough to have a little bit of time that I do. So, but yeah, and also around that time where the contest was happening and I started on like the webtoon, like it was coming along pretty good with like the resources I had even. But then my dad had to die. But then my dad died, and that kind of put a bummer on a lot of creative things I was trying to work on. So that whole idea got scrapped. I still have like the character designs I made, and I still kind of know the characters, but like everything just kind of screeched to a halt when my dad died because I had to focus on that. But then it's like, man, this is a lot of work. So, and also I feel like some people overestimate my abilities because I think I was talking to my aunt about it one day. I think one day while at, you know, my parents' house sorting stuff out, and my aunt was there, and I think I mentioned something about it, and she's like, oh, you can do it, no problem. And it's like, no, I can't. I know my limits. It's all I work with 4 people. I don't know how people make webtoons by themselves. Probably because they have all the time in their day, and they probably skip meals and have no social life. That's my best guess. So, we're gonna take a break. We're going to get up, stretch, go to the bathroom, grab a snack, do whatever it is you need to do, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back. We got the baseball bat. Boom. Alright, cool. We're back. Hello. I really thought she was gonna get 3 threes. 3, 6, 9. Damn, she fine. Something, something, something one more time. To the window! To the wow! To the wow. I'm definitely aging myself. If by mentioning my favorite childhood shows didn't age myself, as if I didn't outright state my age earlier in the stream too. Anyway. Hello, welcome back. I had some fruit snacks, and I had one of them little bite-sized Snickers. Just to have that little extra Anyway. Sometimes you just need that little extra to get through the day. For some people that's coffee, for some people that's energy drinks, and for other people it's pure motivation. Anyway. Oh, what is Joe Hendry's build weight? I don't remember, because it's one of my favorites. Joe Hendry. His build weight is 231? 230? Well, Google says 231, and Wikipedia says 252. I'd have to listen to a match introduction to hear his build weight, but just for continuity's sake, let's say 250. You know, whenever they announce the wrestler, it's like, coming in at 272 pounds, you know, Randy Orton, you know, they say the weight for the men anyway. But for Joe Hendry, it's weighing in at 250 pounds of pure motivation. It's my favorite whenever they have like little changes like that to reflect their character, because I love Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry's great. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. I saw him wrestle yesterday on Monday Night Raw. I watched just enough Raw to watch Io Sky and Sol Ruka wrestle, and that was it. I turned off wrestling after that point. Because I'm like, you know what? The women's all I care about, honestly. And I'm not saying that because I am a woman and it's like, go women. But it's because the women are the best thing to happen on... The women and Danhausen are the best thing about WWE right now, and it ain't even close. So... And I was also wearing my Io Sky shirt yesterday, and I want to say Johnny redeemed the Wrestler Roulette and got Io Sky's theme. So, yeah, everything was coming up Io Sky, so I wanted to watch her wrestle, and I did watch her wrestle, and then I immediately shut it off. So, yeah, I like the little nods to like the characters, because my favorite is Penta. Whenever they announce his weight, everyone, you know, United States, everyone goes by pounds, right? You know, coming in at like 6'4", weighing in at 272 pounds. You know, Penta, however, he comes from Mexico. He's Mexican, but like it just adds to the aura of his character. I think... No! Oh, I knew I had it. Give it back. Thank you. Nope, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Thank you. Okay, anyway, back to Penta. You know, like, everyone over here is like, oh, hey, you know, 172 pounds or whatever. 230 pounds. Penta, whenever he comes in, is weighing in at 87 kilos. He's the only one that gets the kilos, which it just adds to the aura. You know, it just really adds to it, and I love it. Just, again, the subtle changes that they make to add to a character. But also, wrestling is still kind of at a low right now for me, so, you know, it's just one of those where it's like, man, it used to be so fun, and now it's not very fun anymore because corporate got their hands on it. Because TKO got their slimy little hands on it. But yeah, and I say this as, like, you know, creative writer. Because, creative writing was one of the reasons why I swapped to being an English major for college. Because, the papers I wrote for class, were really good. My teacher really thought they were good. I'm just doing this. You know? This is fine. Just right back where I started. Nothing happened. So, but yeah, I remember my teacher asking me for one of the assignments we did. We had to write like a description piece. We, you know, going over, because the college I went to put me in like lower classes because I didn't have any like college class experience. So I had to take like basic English and intermediate English. I was like the best one by far, but I had to take them. I didn't want to test out. It was fine. But my teacher loved me. She became my my person, whatever the name, counselor. I forgot the name. It's fine. But one of the assignments was we had to write a description piece. And I wrote mine on a ballpark that doesn't exist anymore because they tore it down. I mean, I could say it's located in Wichita. It is Lawrence Dumont Stadium in Wichita, Kansas. I wrote my paper on that because my brother had played there a handful of times before. And I loved the stadium, and I loved the vibe of it. I want to say they tore it down and rebuilt it, and it's something else completely now. But it's a baseball stadium, by the way. And I wrote my description piece on Lawrence Dumont Stadium, and we had to incorporate like different like descriptors, like similes, metaphors, the works, and mine was so good that the teacher wanted to use mine as an example for future classes and other students. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Like, I feel like that's a pretty high honor in terms of like an example of what to do. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I don't know if she still teaches at the college now. I've seen her around because the town we frequent is the town I went to college in. So I see her around. But like, I don't know if she still teaches or not. Ah, shit. Welp. Man, had a revolution just to get it taken away. My revolution got stolen. But yeah, at least I would rather be an example of what to do instead of what not to do, because I had her again for English 1 the next year, and there's this lesson that always sticks with me. That's why one of my 8-ball responses is the way it is. A common, like, misspelling of definitely is defiantly. And one example of like, I don't remember what kind of paper it was, but the teacher was going over examples of like what not to do. And one of the examples of this piece this guy wrote had the descriptor of defiant shoes. And that always stuck with me. Defiant shoes has stuck with me for years. So anytime I see the word defiant, I think of defiant shoes. So I would rather be a good example than defiant shoes. But who knows? Maybe those examples are the ones that stick with you the most. I don't have any money, it's fine. I get to go for a ride. Whee! I see all the bastards on the bottom. So, yeah, anyone have like a good like lesson that sticks with you from school? I know school sucks and everything. But again, there's nuance to everything. There has to be some good and some bad to school. So like, what are some of the good things? Like, you know, defiant shoes. That was a lesson that stuck with me for forever. So one of my 8-ball responses, instead of definitely, it's just defiantly. It's one of my favorite things. So I will forever think of defiant shoes. But yeah, writing in English class was really fun. I enjoyed English. And that teacher that I had was the reason why I swapped to English major, and just kind of talked about different routes to go with writing and creative writing and everything. So it was really nice. And I do remember for one of my English classes, for I think the final, we had to write like a narrative piece. I want to say I broke the fourth wall in my English paper one time. It was fantastic. I loved it. Yeah. Trying to remember like what all other classes I even took in college. I had to take a general psych class because I was required for like associate of arts degree. Like, well, I don't have a college degree. I'm like 11 credits short, but also that was 11 years ago. And all the classes I would have to take, honestly don't really matter for what my major was anyway, because you had to take these classes for like associate of arts, like have to take a speech class. I'm still missing English 2 because I dropped out of it. Oh, there's speech, English 2. I had to take a science lab, which is stupid, because that's worth like 5 credits, but like, why do I need a science lab if I'm gonna major in English? And it's like, the science classes available were science classes I didn't even give a fucking shit about. So it was like biology and chemistry. Like, chemistry would have been fine, but like, I didn't want to. I don't want to do anything. So it's like, man, sometimes I feel like college is a scam. Or at least for like the first couple of years, when you gotta get like all your general studies stuff out of the way first, and then you get into like the nit and gritty of your major. Alright, I need to go this way. I don't have any money. So think going the way I went to was the best idea. So, yeah. And so, like, you know, just kind of going back to, like, media and everything, like, inspiration is literally everywhere. Like, I get inspired for stories all the time from different kinds of media. You know? So it's like, to be able to create your own stuff, like writing, you gotta consume media. And to, like, kind of dissect the story. It's one of those, like, we were watching One Piece. Me and my husband were watching One Piece, and, I got some inspirations for some stuff I have for my own projects. But also, watching One Piece really makes me think, like, man, Oda's got a wild imagination to be able to, like, put together these, like, really crazy things. And, you know, to be able to, like, put his ideas out there and, like, create it. Like, while there are problems with Oda's character designs, especially with the women, in terms of, like, storytelling and just, like, all the bonkers things that he puts in One Piece, it's just so crazy how everything all fits together in the world. Hello, Wicked! Hello, hello! Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day! What do you mean threatening with the stance? I just have a baseball bat. Nothing scary about a baseball bat. But hello! How are you? I am doing pretty good. How are you? Mario just got Hidden Block Star. That's cool. Just talking about writing and creative works and everything. So, cause like it's one of those, I'm like saying everything but what it is, but also it's like, I don't want to like reverse psychology myself. Yeah, I don't want to reverse psychology myself. But it's one of those, I don't want to talk about like a big project I'm doing to like too many people, because it's one of those, I don't want to like talk, and then eventually not do it, and people wonder like, well, I thought you were gonna do this. And then it's like the awkward, well, you know. But also it's one of those where, I won't know what I'm capable of until I start doing it. So I just need to like get off my lazy ass and just do it. Because like the days I do get a chance to work on it, I've had a lot of fun with it. So I just need to lean into that fun. Fanfics, I think the last fanfic I wrote and read on the channel was back in October? August? Whenever we hit 500 followers. The last fanfic that I wrote and we read on stream was Tale of the Garden Stone. Was that October? I can check. I can check from going into my art, because I did an art for it. I made a cover photo. It was October. I was right. And it was a Felix story. We on stream? Yeah. Cause when I started streaming, I was like, I want a follower goal. And then I'm like, I can dig into the depths of my past and dig up fanfiction I wrote when I was a teenager. And the first story that I read on stream was When It Rains, which is probably the biggest one that I wrote when I was a teenager. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it was the first because it meant something to me. And then there was a sequel to it. And then I read more fanfiction from my past. And then, one of the, follower goal fanfic things was, hey, we're going to, we're going to like do a stream and gather ideas. Sorry, I hate to do the T Skelly key. One of the goals was like get input from chat about like tropes to use, plot points, the fun stuff. And it was like everything. Make it a D&D story and involve everything. I'm like, okay. So I wrote a little like 4 or 5 chapter story. That went by really good, and it kickstarted me writing fanfiction with every single member of Stray Kids. Because the D&D one had Hyunjin in it. The next one I wrote was, I believe, Face Turn, which had Han. I should go back to that one, honestly, just for reasons. Waria, please. Waria, please. Waria, you bitch. Yeah, Face Turn had Han, and it was a wrestling AU story. The next one, I believe, was The Bride Operation. That one's one of my personal favorites. The Bride Operation was really good. After The Bride Operation was The Dragon Tamer, which I mentioned was based off of Final Fantasy XVI, ironically enough, because I'm currently playing Final Fantasy XVI on Mondays. That's been a hoot, honestly. What's after The Dragon Tamer? Sunflower Kisses? Yes, Sunflower Kisses was after The Dragon Tamer, which was loosely based off of my own love story. It's got Changbin. Also, The Bride Operation is Chan. It's Bang Chan. Dragon Tamer is Lino. Sunflower Kisses is Changbin. The next one, I think I called it Nurse Back to Health, but like I can come up with a better I couldn't think of a better title. It's a IN Jungin. That one's a sequel to The Bride Operation. No, I said no. It's fine. So that's IN. And then Crowned by Chaos was Seungmin, and then Tale of the Garden Stone was Felix. So I have written a fanfic that stars every single member of Stray Kids. Then I also just kind of stopped after that. It's like, what do now? And so the current follower goal is fanfiction. I'm thinking, I have a specific one from my past in mind, from when I was a teenager. Or we can like do a vote and reread one of the Stray Kids ones or something. I don't know. But I've got one in mind. Kind of topical, considering I just made my friends a baseball team and won the Little League World Series with them, so it might be a little baseball related, but hey. I think it'll be fun. How long does it take to read a fanfic of yours on average? Depends on how fast you read. When I read them out loud, 3.5 to 4 hours. Depends on how long they are too. Most of the Stray Kids ones are on average about 12 chapters. I think the longest one was 14. I think the longest one was 14 chapters. I do have a playlist on my YouTube channel of all my fanfiction readings. Fanfiction reading. The When It Rains, that one was really long. It was like 40 something chapters. And then there's Story of My Life, which was the sequel to When It Rains, and that was also really long. Yeah, some of them got split up. The Bride Operation, which I think is 13 chapters, is 4 hours and 20 minutes. But that had, again, this also includes like a lot of interruptions, talking to chat, alerts, and everything. So if you were to just like sit down, buckle down, and like read, The Dragon Tamer was about 4 hours. Sunflower Kisses was about 3.5. Nurse Back to Health was about 4 hours. Crowned by Chaos was about 3 hours and 40 minutes, and Tale of the Garden Stone was 3 hours and 10 minutes. And yes, my YouTube channel is the same as my stream. There you go, YouTube channel's on there. Everything is pretty much Tessa Jane 18 except for my TikTok, which is Tessa Jane 718, because TikTok was stupid when I first created an account. Because I originally had Tessa Jane 18, but then that one got flagged for community guidelines, and I didn't know what happened. I like created my account, posted one TikTok, and then apparently I violated some community guidelines somewhere, and they wouldn't tell me, and I couldn't even like send an email to appeal it because it just put me on a screen. So yeah. So I created a second TikTok account, which was 718. So that's why my TikTok is different than my other socials, which I hate that so much. And I want to say I tried changing the name, but it won't let me because it's like, oh, there's already another user with this username. It's like, bitch, that's me still. This account is banned. Why won't you just terminate it and give it to me? So yeah, and like I was doing a whole bunch of research on it too, and sometimes it's like, oh, if you like videos too fast after creating an account, it's like, what the fuck? Isn't that what the whole For You page is for when you first create an account? Like, you create an account, it gives you a For You page so you can see some stuff, like some stuff, so the algorithm can do algorithm things. But if you like stuff too fast after creating an account, then it thinks you're a bot. Then like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I got flagged for community guidelines that I didn't even know I broke, and it won't tell me what exactly it was I broke, which is kind of stupid, because like if you violate something, it should tell you what you violated so you don't do it again, or can appeal it. So, anywho, like the 4 hour, yeah. Community is pissed. I don't know what's happening anymore. I don't know what's going on. It's fine. So, but yeah, for the fanfiction, I've got one in mind that we can read on stream. Right, left, down, left, A. Right, left, down, left, A. Left, down, A. 5, 6, 7, 8. B up, A. Up, down, left. B up, A, up, down, left. B up, A. Right, up, down, left. I did it! Look at me dance! I'm a dancer! I am actually a dancer. I dance IRL. I was on dance team in high school and college. And being on dance team was how I met my husband. Anyway. Also like her. I know, it's crazy. And there is our question of the day. What is your favorite trope? Tropes are like common happenings in stories. Like a trope is like, oh, the princess always gets kidnapped. Oh, bad guys wear black. Or like the dynamic of like a tomboy and a girly girl, like Peach and Daisy. You know, that's a trope. A common trope that I've seen talked about recently, is Chekhov's gun. It came from like this play, something Chekhov, and he mentions a gun. And he mentions a gun in the first act, and the gun gets shot in the third act. So Chekhov's gun is If something is specifically mentioned early in the story, it has to have a payoff later. Like, again, like, oh, he mentions a gun specifically in Act 1. The gun will be fired in in Act 3. Or, I'm trying to think, any examples I've used of Chekhov's gun. I don't know, but it's a normal, like, you know, storytelling device, because, like, hey, you can't just mention things without a payoff. One move left. 42. No. 3 turns. It's fine. Also, I don't know if this is necessarily a trope, but it is a storytelling device that it's one thing that I have, like, learned recently and have noticed throughout a lot of different media. Here's a little tell of something. If a plan specifically gets mentioned, if the characters talk about the plan in depth for whatever situation they're getting into, if they talk about the plan in depth, it will fail. But if they don't talk about the plan and it gets revealed later, then it will succeed. More often than not. It's not a catch-all, but because I used that in Crowned by Chaos. Because there was a plan. There was a plan for something that the main characters were plotting, but like they went over the plan in detail in the story, but then the plan failed. And then they're like, we gotta come up with something else. But the something else was not mentioned until it was shown in the later chapters. So, yeah, I don't know if that's, like, necessarily a trope, but it's something to kind of be aware of, because sometimes it's like, oh, if they go over their plan, it's like, okay, they're going over their plan in detail, it will work, and then it just like, nope, it doesn't. Like, nope, you thought. But also, like, ship dynamics can go into tropes, like, the Grumpy and Sunshine, Golden Retriever Black Cat, which is the same thing. You know, like, common ship dynamics are usually, like, rooted in tropes. Like, one that's full of logic and one full of emotion. So, yeah, they're usually rooted in tropes, and things become a trope when it, like, you know, is a good storytelling device. Whee. There we go. Secrets reveal out of nowhere, looking right at you, Naruto. But yeah, some of my favorite tropes are, like, when the happy-go-lucky comedy relief character turns, like, serious all of a sudden and makes this grandiose display of power, and it's like, oh shit, they're actually one you don't want to fuck with. It's one of my favorites. You know, there's, like, chosen one tropes everywhere. JRPGs kind of fall into this. The trope with JRPGs is like, oh, you gotta kill God. A lot of JRPGs just end with killing God. But yeah, there's also a whole freaking website of a whole bunch of tropes. It's called TV Tropes. I refer to it a lot. And it also has examples in media of these specific tropes. One about, like, a dynamics called, like, Red Oni, Blue Oni, and, you know, it kind of has, like, color coordination, and red is usually more, like, super energetic and loud and enthusiastic. The out there, the punch first, ask questions later, and then the Blue Oni is super, a little calmer, more calculated, like a sit back and wait type. You know, like, the colors are, like, red is usually a color of, like, passion, go-getter. And And then blue is a super calming color. Like blue is very, very mellow. So that's why I like color coordination. Or again, like a typical pairing we see in like media with like two girl besties is usually the tomboy and the girly girl. Peach and Daisy, Raven and Starfire. There's a set of twins in American Dragon Jake Long. That one's more happy sunshine and the other is real goth and moody. So that's usually a pretty good trope to go through. Psyduck is a good example of that, I guess. For which one? I talked about a lot of tropes. So yeah, TV tropes has a whole list of stuff. So it's really fun to just go through TV tropes. Oh, comedic character turns serious? Yeah. My favorite thing is subverting tropes. Tropes can be played straight, alluded to, subverted. I like subverting tropes. Crowned by Chaos is another good example of this, because it was inspired by subverting a trope. Because I was watching like the first 30 minutes of Final Fantasy IX, and the group of kids are like, hey, let's kidnap the princess, or they were come up with a plot to kidnap the princess. And seeing that, in my mind, I'm like, but what if kidnap prince? Because anyone who gets kidnapped, it's usually a princess. It's usually the girls that get kidnapped. But what if this ragtag group of bandits kidnap a prince? And it's kind of set up in a way where it almost makes you think, oh, the girl's gonna go with the prince and infiltrate from the inside. No. No, it's a whole ploy to kidnap the prince. So, yeah. So yeah, I love subverting tropes, and the bride operation is another fun one where tropes get subverted all the time. There's like a list of like subverted tropes that I found somewhere, and it was really funny, and like I have written at least about like 3 of them. Also, probably what you would expect. Oh, wrestling AU story, right? Oh shit. With a K-pop idol, it's like, oh, you probably think I'd put the male K-pop idol as the wrestler role. No, the OC I created was the wrestler, and not Jisung, even though he'd make a good wrestler. But no, I made the female lead the wrestler, which is probably unexpected, but that was the character I had in mind. And one of them, like a subversion trope's like, oh, there's too many beds. Another one's like, oh, you kidnapped a mafia boss by accident. Because it's usually, oh, the mafia kidnaps the person. It's like, oops, you kidnapped the mafia boss. That one's a funny one. Alright, standard last 5 turns. Procedures: all red and blue spaces are doubled. If you land on the same space as your opponent, you get to duel them. Final Fantasy IX character interactions are awesome. I've only ever seen like the very beginning of the game, because like my husband didn't get too terribly far into it. He got enough for me to see the character interactions about kidnapping a princess, and it sparked a story idea, and that's pretty much it. Because, we also don't have access to those games anymore. Because we used to pay for, like, the PlayStation Plus stuff. But by the time the payment came around, my husband's card had changed. Because I had to go get him a new card, like, last December. Because it was like, oh, hey, there's, like, a random charge here. That was not either one of us. so I had to go get him a new card. And his old card was still on file on the PlayStation. So it's like, oh, the payment didn't go through. It's like, oh shit. By the time we realized that, it was already like April. It was already like a month ago. So it's like, well, it's fine. We don't really like, we never really like played any of those games. Like, I played some of those games that we got from that on stream. Like, I played Until Dawn. I played The Quarry. I mean, I think we bought Final Fantasy VII Remake proper on the PlayStation. And we have Rebirth physical. So, but it became like the Final Fantasy machine. But then we didn't really play much of it. Because all the Final Fantasies that I have played, we have access to, regardless. Because yeah, I think we bought 7 Remake digitally, and we own the 10 Remake, or the HD version on the Switch, because I gave it to him for his birthday, 1 year. And we own 16. And I'm currently playing 16 right now. Drop me. Not in there. Dang it, it's fine. So, yeah. But I did mention the Dragon Tamer, what I wrote, the Lino story, was based off of Final Fantasy 16, because as my husband was playing the game, I got the ideas for the story at that point. So. Main character doesn't have much to do with the story. Is that considered a subverted trope? Then he's not the main character then. That's just haunting the narrative. Maybe even not. So, and also it's like, if the main character doesn't have much to do with the story, that's just isekai. That's just an isekai harem. I mean, it might technically be subverting a trope, but like, that's just an isekai harem and it's not very interesting. And yeah, I played The Quarry October of 24? Yeah, because I played Until Dawn October of 23. Because I was trying to do a challenge run. I was trying to kill everyone except for Sam. Because save the cheerleader, save the world. But I failed at that. And so I just was like, you know what, screw it. I made everyone live. And I replayed chapter 10. And then later for a sub goal, I did a kill everyone run in Until Dawn. So that was pretty fun. I've seen the beginnings of the remake. I think we got it on PlayStation Plus, so I think if we want to play it, we'd have to buy it, which is totally fine. I'm cool with that. That'll be, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And then October of 2024, I did my own little challenge run of The Quarry. It was very fun. I wrote notes. You know shit is real when I write notes. No. Yeah, I can even like reach over to my notebook and open up the page of my notes. I have a bunch of papers here. Those are Twilight Princess notes. Twilight Princess notes were very special. My notes for my speedrun strats for Mario 64, because I participated in a speedrun race, which contributed to the downfall of a friendship, which is very strange to think about, but hey, that's what happened. But also, tracing back, it's really funny how the end of a friendship happened because of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Even though there were some real bad things before that. bleh, I can't think. But it's one of those, you know, as it happened, you know, when you're sulking and thinking, why does this have to happen? I traced back a lot of events that happened in that friendship with this person. And, I traced back a lot of different incidents that happened that I, glossed over because, like, hey, they're my friend. So it's like, you know, they're my friend, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's like, they're my friend. But looking back on it, it's like, a friend doesn't do that. So, yeah, speedrun thing? The speedrun event that I was a part of, was, there was 2 games involved in this event. Ocarina of Time, Race to the Master Sword. So pretty much the entire Child Link section opening up, and Mario 64. And I have notes on my pathing, because I based my run off of somebody's 70-star run. And just condensed it, because the speedrun race for Mario 64 went to the second Bowser fight, so 31 stars. So, yeah, because, but we all agreed to, start off with King Bob-omb, because it's like, it's the ceremonial first star when you're in Mario 64, so we started with that, and then from then on, we kind of split on our pathing, because, yeah, my list here, and then I cleaned it up and practiced it, because I only had like a week to practice. Yeah, I had a freaking week to practice. Because the way it was set up, it was a month-long event, it happened in March, and the Ocarina of Time races were like one-on-ones. And my one-on-one race was like the 4th week. And I didn't know I was going to be participating in the Mario 64 part until like a week beforehand. So that was fun. So I legit had a week to plan this 30-star speedrun of Mario 64. By the way, it's a game I had not really played up to that point. I later then streamed it. Like months later to actually like slow down and play the game. But yeah, my first real experience with the game was learning speedrunning strats. Which is insane. So, King Bob-omb, the Chomp Star, get the slide, all the Whomp Fortress stars, oh, I'd split it up, do slide 1, do the fast one, and then go do Whomp, and then, get the wing cap. Do the slide again, or do the slide again, then do wing cap, and then Bowser 1, then Cool Mountain, Big Boo's Haunt. Yeah, because I was like basing it off of a speedrun, like a 70-star speedrun, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do all of these stars, or at least in the way of the speedrun that will do it. So I just did it to the best of my ability, and I think my run was okay. I did come in last place though, but again, there's a lot of rough feelings, a lot of imposter syndrome happening behind the scenes, and it was one of those during the event. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and the way it was 2 people hosting the channel, and they invited 2 other people for commentary. And the 2 that were hosting the channel were also in the 4-person Mario 64 race. So it was those 2, me and another person, and the other person was like the favorite to win because they were like really good. And so like everyone knew that the other person and 1/2 of the channel hosts were going to win. And it was set up to where like, oh, the losers have to leave the Discord call. And the way it was set up, the 2 brought in for commentary didn't have to leave because they were brought in for commentary. And the 2 hosting the channel couldn't leave. And the other one that wasn't part of any of that was the fan favorite to win the Mario 64 race. So it's like they were going to move on no matter what. And I knew I was going to be in last place. So yeah, I was the only one that left that Discord call. And it hurt. Because when you look back on it, it is kind of shitty to just not keep me on for like commentary for like the finals. Because like the finals was just a reprise of the race to the Master Sword. That's what the finals was. And it would have been nice to like just kind of stay chat, commentate on the race and everything. But yeah, it was real rough behind the scenes. Just kind of looking at a doodle of blue that I had in my notebook. A puzzle from when Bray Wyatt returned to WWE for a little bit. Some notes when I played Mario Sunshine. Here's my quarry notes. Yeah, 10/22/24 was when I took these notes. Can you get day of the races so I don't have to pay attention? Yeah, because, yeah, I went for a specific pathing for, the quarry. Yeah, and it was one of those, I wanted to collect the evidence, too, so the characters can be acquitted. Because it sucks because no matter what you do, they get arrested. But if you have all of the evidence, they're like, oh shit, it wasn't them that did this. So, yeah, so I wrote down all the evidence. I did goof on one thing. I goofed on one thing because I needed to fail a mashing QTE. I pressed the button 5 times at a very slow interval, and it counted as a success, and I needed to fail it. I was so mad because the game autosaved right after. So it's like I couldn't go back and redo it, and it made me so mad. But there was a way to fix my mistake later, but it canceled out of a scene later. So it's fine. But yeah, and like all my streams or stuff are logged. I am behind on VODs. I did get behind again on VODs. But like my full playthrough of the quarry is on YouTube. A lot of them are in playlists. So yeah. Chapter 5. The hardest thing for me to do, and here's a hint to what my run was all about. The hardest thing for me to do was to not chop Dylan's hand off. Also, Dylan is the best character of the quarry. Dylan is fantastic. I'm safe. So, yeah, the hardest part was to not chop his hands off. Because I had watched a playthrough of the quarry beforehand, so I knew the game, I knew some of the decisions to make, but I hadn't seen this exact pathing before, so it was really fun to show that off. And then the rest of my notebook here is a lot of math notes, some Okami notes, but I think the rest of this, oh, nope, more Okami notes of just things I needed to do in the game. And then math notes, because I needed to help, I need to help Allie with her math homework. But yeah, no, I did not play Mario 64 as a kid. Which, again, as an N64 kid, it's really surprising. Because my first game was Mario Party 1. And we never owned Mario 64. No! So, but yeah, I got a lot of math. Oh! I was like, what is this? What is this list? Moldy cheese? Rancid milk? Saggy Maggie's Boutique? Hog breath? I'm like, what is this? But then I read, I played Banjo-Kazooie, this last fall? Summer? Yeah, I played Banjo-Kazooie and I knew I needed to write down, my notes. I think my notes here were when I first played the game a year ago. Because about this time last year, I played it on my own time. I played Banjo-Kazooie on my own time, and then later, like a few months later, I streamed it, and I have different notes for that. So yeah, that's what these are, my grunty notes, because it's, the grunty answers are different every save file. And then I have some Wind Waker notes, about some heart pieces, the trade quest in Wind Waker, remaining heart pieces that I had, more math, a sketch of a character, another sketch of a character, more character sketches. And then I have a whole different notebook too. I have another one that's got more stuff in it, also more math notes and everything. The competitive speedruns what hurt the friendship, but no, Rebirth on its own, okay. Yeah, it wasn't it kind of was the competitiveness of the speedrun in a way you wouldn't expect. It was a lot of the behind the scenes on things, because the biggest thing was it wasn't very well put together at first, because the rules were kind of made up along the way. Because at first, because I am the way I am, I give everything my whole ass. I don't half-ass anything. It's like, oh hey, Ocarina of Time speedrun, and all was said was they wanted it to be a glitchless speedrun. A glitchless speedrun to the Master Sword. And no other specifics were mentioned. I'm like, alright, cool. So I did all of my research. I did a whole bunch of research on Ocarina of Time speedruns, learning a couple of tricks here and there, and learning what was and is not a glitch. Or, yeah, what is and is not a glitch. Because Ocarina of Time is one of those where it's like, some things are a glitch and some things are not a glitch. And so the speedrun community came together and like, here's a list of stuff that we consider not a glitch. And there was a list of allowed techniques. And one of the allowed techniques was save warping. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So I mapped out, I had a route in mind. I had everything and this worked for me. I cut my time down every run that I practiced it. And all of a sudden, behind the scenes in the Discord that we were all in, it got sprung on me that, oh, hey, the creators of this event, the X-Friends, said, oh, we're implementing these. These are not allowed for our event. And one of them was save warping. They allowed death warping, but not save warping. And it's one of those, I don't think anyone else started practicing at that point. I think I was the only one that started practicing, and I included save warping, but also after seeing everyone's routing and all their races, the no save warping only affected me, and that one was probably by chance, but it still sucked. It still sucked that that affected me and only me. And then the whole Mario 64 speedrun thing. And also, during all that was when the Final Fantasy Rebirth thing happened. Because I was practicing for my Ocarina race on stream. Because I'm like, yeah, this will give me something to do. So it gave me something to do on stream. And during that stream, I talked about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because my husband was playing the game. And I mentioned... So this is like middle of March. Game came out like a couple weeks prior. I mentioned that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth had 14 chapters in the game. And the person who was my friend, like was past tense, blew up on me saying OMG spoilers. And when I argued it was not a spoiler, they said, yes, it was. And they didn't talk to me for the rest of the day at all. And I felt so bad because it's like they were so angry at me. I felt bad that they got angry at me for something that wasn't even my fault. And like I immediately messaged them after my stream and like apologized. And I never heard back from them. I essentially got the silent treatment for that. And in their own Discord, they mentioned to their community, don't spoil Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And they were 100% talking about me. 100%. Because, like, why else would they mention it after not mentioning it for a while? And, like, I stand by the fact that the number of chapters in a game is not a spoiler. Because what do you read in a book? The table of contents. What does the table of contents tell you? The number of chapters and what pages they are on. I use the chapters in a game to give me a good benchmark of where I am in the story. So, and also this was my stream. This was a chatter in my stream jumping my case over something I said in my stream. If they were not my friend, they would have been banned. Just to show you how egregious this was. And since then, well actually the next day my husband wrecks his truck and loses his job. So that was really fun to deal with on the back end. But then we go on with the event. And then after the event, no one really talks to each other. I hadn't heard from them. I poke into their streams every now and then. I think they only came into my stream once and they raided me because they did a day stream and they probably had no one else to raid. And then after that, I was playing Mario 64, funny enough, in like August later that year. And I was talking about something in my stream. I still don't know what exactly it was I said. But I apparently said something that pissed them off. And they blocked me, banned me from their streams, and, you know, unfollowed me. And that day I lost 6 followers because it was her partner, and then their second account. And then I lost 3 other followers that day too for whatever reason. Because, like, you know, followers come and go. But, like, seeing the big drop like that hurt. And because I saw that without knowing anything. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And then my husband messages me. This person had the nerve to block me and ban me from their chat without saying anything to me. Because they got offended at what I said. And they had the nerve to message my husband about it and not me. I had to hear about what happened from my husband. Because they messaged him saying, sorry, we had to block you too, or whatever. And then he found them on another social media platform and tried to ask what was going on, just to get some clarity. And I remember seeing the screenshot he took and sent to me, and the message they sent to him was like, oh my god, you're so nice about it. It's like, bitch, get away from him. But also what hurt is he gave them so much money. He had gifted so many subs to their channel. And they easily threw that away over being offended over something I said that could have been hashed out in private message. So, yeah. And it's like, I talk about it every now and then, but it's one of those, I talk about it because it happened. They were factual things that happened. And like, at first, it hurt. I was so heartbroken over the whole thing. But I think what helped is, I kind of found my place in this new friend group. And this was the friend group that I made a Little League team of. So, and that kind of helped patch things. So, but yeah, it was a whole slew of events that happened behind the scenes and like snowballed into this whole thing that made them block me and ban me and all that over something I said. Ooh, 15 happening spaces, nice. Oh, did I clean sweep the bonus stars? I didn't even notice! That's so funny. I clean sweeped and didn't even notice. I love that for me. But yeah. Anyway, hello, Lore! Hello, welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. And yeah, it was Bowser. Bowser was everywhere. It was Bowser Land. I saw you pop in, but I was in the middle of my whole speech. Anyway, hello. No list title, lol, yeah. Alright, has the time to leave the call? Yeah, they said goodbye to me, specifically, during that. They were like, yeah, we have to say goodbye to Tessa. And they tried to get some, like, last words out of me, but I was trying so hard not to cry. I was trying so hard not to cry during that, because I was so frustrated during that. And then at the end of it, I realized, like, I'm gonna be the only one leaving that call. So, you can see note papers from a year ago. Yeah, and also, it was proven that paper pencil notes help you retain knowledge better. So I have notes from Twilight Princess, I have a bunch of different notes, and also, it's faster. I have pen and paper real close by within arm's reach, so if I need to write down something for a game, like, I will write it down. Yeah, over Rebirth, yeah, it's crazy. Also, we know how long a movie is. Yeah. I look up numbers of chapters in games just to know where I am. Exactly. I even looked at that yesterday during Final Fantasy. Like, I think in the cutscene where Clive and Joshua were, like, teleporting to like, the insides. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there was a scene where during a cutscene, I'm like, this feels like a final boss, but I'm gonna look it up just to... Because I was trying to remember things, so I looked it up, and I was like, oh, alright, I'm good. Just to remember what other story markers I got. Like, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is another good example. There's 10 chapters in Xenoblade 2. So if you're like, oh, you got to the end of chapter 4, you still got quite a ways to go. Chapter 7 is a doozy. Chapter 7's a fun one. Really difficult, too. Especially if you don't know what you're doing. And then for Xenoblade 3, there's 7 chapters, but chapter 5 is the big one. With Xenoblade 1, it's a little harder because the original on the Wii didn't have it split into chapters, and the way they split it up for Definitive Edition doesn't make sense sometimes. Because there's 17 total chapters for Definitive Edition, but they split it up kind of weirdly, because they split up chapters 1 and 2, during the attack on Colony 9 in the very beginning. I feel like chapter 1 should be the beginning up until the end of the attack on Colony 9. That's where I think chapter 1 should be, but those are like 2 chapters, and it's like, that doesn't make any sense. But that's my deal. People who are quick to cut people off completely over small misunderstandings. Seen a few of those. Yeah. Yep, totally have. And it sucks because you still hear about the other person, and, and you hear that they're doing okay, and it's like, you hurt me so bad, but you're doing okay. Like, I'm in shambles and you're doing fine. Like, what the heck? But I know not everything is as it appears to be, because I'm sure to some people I'm doing perfectly peachy. But no, I'm actually falling apart behind the scenes. But yeah, it doesn't matter how nice you were to them, how much friendship you think you've built with them. Yep, one little thing sets them off. And it's one of those, I should have seen the red flags a lot sooner. I definitely should have seen the red flags sooner, because there were incidents before the whole spoiler thing. Because there was one time where I was, I hit a follower goal and we were going to read The Dragon Tamer. And I was excited for it. I had a date. It was like Wednesday at 11 a.m. I had a special start time. So I was really excited. And this friend, like on Monday, I think it was like Monday or Sunday or something, they were promoting this fanfiction reading stream because they were there, they loved my stories, and they were hyping me up, you know? They're like, yeah, go check out Tessa's stream Wednesday at 11 a.m. And then literally the next day, they announced that they were going to stream Wednesday at 11 a.m. And that was one where I was hurt so bad by that. I messaged them and be like, hey, I like literally don't care if we stream at the same time. I care when you promote my stream and then immediately turn around and plan your own stream for that same day and time. And they apologized for that. And their reasoning was a little rough. I went back, because I remember screenshotting it and sent it to my husband for context. I looked back on that, and it's like, the reasoning was kind of shitty, honestly. Like, they apologized, and it's like, yeah, I kind of see that. So they canceled that stream. But then they said, well, daytime streams don't do as good anyway. And it's like, because they usually streamed in the evenings and wanted to do daytime streams, which is totally fine. You know, I literally don't care if my friends stream at the same time I do. But it's like they were promoting my stream for a specific day and time, only to turn around and plan their own stream for the same day and time. And the reason that they're like, okay, I'll back off, daytime streams don't do very well anyway. And it felt like a shot at me in my time slot, because this is the normal time I stream. And it's like, yeah, I know viewership numbers, whatever, differ from time to time. I understand it very well, but this is like the time I stream, and I've made it work for me. And it was one of those, I really should have been on high alert since then, at least. So yeah. But also, again, just like everything, there is nuance. Without these people, I wouldn't be where I am in terms of streaming, because they did help me, like, you know, gain a lot of growth. They've helped me a bit here and there. So it's like, without them, you know, I wouldn't be where I am. Also, on the flip side, they were the ones that hurt me the most. So it's a little tough. And I've pretty much said everything but their name, because I don't want to be the one to throw someone under the bus unless someone directly asks me. If someone, like, directly asks me, like, was it this person? Then, you know, whatever. But it's one of those, it happened, like, 2 years ago. I'm pretty much over it at this point. But, like, yeah, at first, like, time heals all wounds for sure, but it's like, that hurt so bad. It stayed with me for a long time. I have a whiteboard at my desk at home. I wrote quick notes. And then I got a Surface for taking notes in college, but I didn't like switching notebooks when I'm making multiple class notes. Yeah. Then got to chapter 8, and then Blue banned me from playing without her watching. Ah, yes, chapter 8 is when you go to the land of Mortha. I'm not gonna add any context, but you'll understand once you play a little bit of chapter 8. You'll understand why she banned you. But yeah, that is weird behavior. Like, I've always compared that whole situation to, like, if I planned a party, like a birthday party. For example, my birthday's on a Saturday this year, so it's like, hey, I'm planning my birthday party at 7 p.m. at Applebee's on my birthday on Saturday 7 p.m. at Applebee's. I'm inviting you. And it's like, yeah, awesome. And friend spreads the word. It's like, hey, Tessa's having a birthday party Saturday 7 p.m. at Applebee's. And then literally the next day, the friend goes, I want to throw a party Saturday 7 p.m. at Chili's. And they tell everyone about it. That's the equivalent. Because I'm sure if you'd be like, oh, stream times, whatever, people are like, well, people can stream whenever they want. Well, here's an equivalent. Here's an analogy. Here's a one-to-one comparison. So yeah, it would be just like that. Like if you plan a party for a specific date and time, and your friend tells everyone about it, and then the friend decides to plan their own party at the same day and time and tells their friends, tells the same people, it's like really shitty. And you're like undermining the person. So. But anyway. That'll be it for today. Applebee's, the more we stay here, expense. Sorry, not sorry. I usually order one of two things. I usually get mozzarella sticks or a cheeseburger. Sometimes I fill up for a cheeseburger. Haven't been Applebee's in a minute. I think the last time I was at Applebee's, I got mozzarella sticks because we were doing tacos at my in-laws. Or no, we were doing a birthday party for Riley that evening, and I think we were also doing tacos. So I couldn't eat very much. Applebee's mac and cheese, it's all I remember of Applebee's. Like the 4-cheese mac and cheese, or the kids mac and cheese. My husband used to get the 4-cheese mac and cheese all the time, but it started getting really inconsistent at the Applebee's we went to. So he would get something else. I think his go-to now is the Fiesta Lime Chicken. So if I were to order for him, that is what I would order for him. Is the Fiesta Lime Chicken. That's usually what he gets. Mozzarella sticks and burger are good. They are. I love a good cheeseburger. So yeah, we're gonna have ads running in a second, so I will apologize up front. So, just bear with me. Hey, the mashed potatoes too garlicky though. Riley, when she had her big Tato phase, she's out of it now, unfortunately. We got her the potatoes all the time because that's all she would eat. But back in December, she caught the stomach bug and threw up her mashed potatoes. And since then, she doesn't want to touch them anymore. Which is very sad because potatoes were her favorite. So she is out of the Tato phase now. She's in a big cereal phase right now. Like, all she ever eats is cereal. I mean, I'm thinking, hey, she's eating. And she's not, like, picky by any means. She just wants what she wants. The kids' mac and cheese. I haven't been to Applebee's in a long time. Ever since you were a child. Cereal, yeah, her favorite right now is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Her favorite cereal right now is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. She used to kind of flip-flop back and forth between Cinnamon Toast Crunch and the Oreo O's. Or like Oreo Puffs. Yeah, we have the Oreo Puffs, that's right. Because I got a big bag of it. I like it. I'll eat it. Allie will eat it. And Riley kind of slowed down on those, so I wonder what's up with those. I don't know. It's fine. Sometimes she wants Pop-Tarts. Sometimes Riley wants Pop-Tarts. And you know what? Like, I'm just like, as long as you eat, child. Because, like, I'm a picky eater. So I know how to handle it. Because a lot of people had to deal with me. And I hate how that's the case with picky eaters. It's like, fine, I'll just deal with it. We'll deal with you. And it's like, I'll be fine. I'll figure out something. You know, like, I'm fine. But anyway. Yeah, she's been on a big cereal kick. She'll probably have cereal tonight for supper. Alright. So we should be back from ads. Yeah, that'll be it for today. What's today? Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I still don't know what I'm playing. Because I know I kind of goofed off with some N64 stuff. I played the entirety of Pokemon Snap one day. It went almost like 6 hours on stream. That was really fun. And then I played Little League Baseball World Series 2009. Created my friends in a Little League team and won the World Series. And then on Friday, I played Guilty Party. I beat the whole game. I beat the main story mode. Yeah, I beat the main story mode of Guilty Party on Friday, and that was really fun. That was very fun. But now it's like, I have some ideas. I need to kind of rummage through what games I have and have available to stream, so I can pick something for Wednesday, Fridays. So we'll figure out Wednesday, Fridays. Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. We'll figure something out. Thursday, I played all of Mario Party 2. Mario Party 3 is just my cop-out. Mario Party 3 has been my cop-out forever. I might do Mario Party 1. I don't know. I might swap to some GameCube Mario Parties during the summer. I feel a little bit more comfortable with that because, like, this school year has been kind of crazy because, like, with Riley being in the PM preschool class, it cuts into, like, my normal stream time. Because it's usually, like, 12 p.m. on the dot, typically. But, like, Riley's PM class starts at 12:15, so that's why a lot of streams throughout this school year have started around 12:30. So, we might do some GameCubes over the summer. I might do Mario Party 1 or 3. I don't know. I'll decide on Thursday. And then Friday's the whatever. Next week's gonna be really strange because next week is the last week of school, and there's a lot of end of school happenings next week. Monday, streaming for sure. We're going to do side quests in Final Fantasy 16. So it'll be like the side quest hour. Not quite the beach episode, because no swimsuits, but like a side quest hour. Tuesday on the 19th, for sure, no stream. Riley has a preschool ceremony in the afternoon that, of course, I will go to. So no stream on Tuesday the 19th. Wednesday the 20th is up in the air. Not exactly sure, because Allie has awards, but they're at 8:30 in the morning on Wednesday, and that's Riley's last day of school. Thursday is also a maybe, because it's Allie's last day of school, but she gets out at noon. And then Friday the 22nd, no stream, because me and my husband will be out of town going to my niece's graduation party on Saturday the 23rd. So, yeah, next week is gonna get really hectic. Ooh, I heard a weird noise in my headphones. Aju, nice! Whoa! Whoa, nice! Alright. So, usually Blue comes back at this time and is like, I'm ready to go! Because she started Xenoblade 2 yesterday. And no notes on Discord about not streaming. Where could she be? Where could the Blue be? Where could she be? Blue, are you there? There's Hot Ben here. There's Jin. Oh my god, I'm playing Torna. I'm gonna start playing Torna. Gonna have all these Jin yearning moments. Or maybe there's this dark hair brooding man who looks like a bird. Shit. I don't know, man. I'm running out of ideas. Just hot anime men, hot fictional men right here dark spiky hair, engine. Is it working? Is it working? I don't know if it's working or not. I don't think it worked. She probably crashed from her mac and cheese nap. I do need to go in like a minute or so. Anywho. Yeah, I'll figure out a game to play. Like, I have something in mind. Like, if all else, I do have something in mind. But I can also dig through some of my games and see what I've got that I have available to stream. I wish I can stream right off of my N64, but I can't. I don't have the right cables and wires and stuff for that. Or else I'd probably play like Diddy Kong Racing or something. That sounds really fun, but I cannot play it. If Blue doesn't show up in the next like 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to crash out, but also find someone else to raid. So, anywho, so yeah. I didn't mean to get all like personal with like the friendships and stuff. You know, but it's again, it's like I tell those stories because they were like actual events that happen, and sometimes I feel like, man, it just feels like I'm just talking mad shit. No, here's a lesson. Life advice. It is not talking shit if it is 100% true. You are allowed to talk about what happened to you and how you felt about it. You are 100% allowed if it 100% happened. Talking shit is, man, this person's such a bitch for like no reason. But like talking about an event that like, you know, harm they caused you, emotional pain, then like, yeah, that's true. So yeah, and it's like, I kind of hate how Mario 64 is kind of tied to like emotional pain for me, especially Final Fantasy VII Rebirth too, because my husband hasn't finished the game. He's like right at the final boss, and it was getting late when he was on it, and he was on like phase 5 out of 6, and he died, and it was 9 p.m. and he had to get up at 1 a.m. for work the next morning, so he didn't have enough time to go back and redo the whole fight. And I think he tried it one time like months later and just couldn't really get back into it. And it's like, he needs to finish it. So like, I've seen everything of Rebirth except for the ending. So, but now feelings are kind of ruined on that because of the ex-friend that jumped my case over quote-unquote spoilers. So that's why I'm super adamant about the number of chapters in a game aren't a spoiler. And it's like, who knows? Maybe their stance has changed now. You know, maybe they looked back on that. It's like, man, I was stupid. Like, the number of chapters in a game isn't a spoiler. I think I remember lurking in their stream one time and they mentioned something about the number of chapters in a game. I don't remember. I do remember one time, though, I was lurking in their chat one evening, and it was right after I struggled on the Final Fantasy VII Remake final boss. I had to bump the difficulty down to easy just to get through it. And shortly after that, I was lurking in their chat, and I heard them say, because they were also playing Remake again, it was their second playthrough around that time. They were doing it on their own time, and they were talking about it. And they said, oh yeah, I beat the final boss the other day, and I didn't have to put it on easy mode. It was one of those, it felt like a shot at me, because I had recently struggled and recently beat the game. And had to put it on easy mode so I can get through it. Because I was going like 6 hours on stream. And it's like, I needed to just put an end to this. And I remember overhearing that when I was lurking in their stream. It's like, really? Really? But I didn't say anything because it could not have been about me. You know, but it's one of those, if the shoe fit, it's like, well, if the shoe fits, call me Cinderella, because that really felt like a personal attack on me. And I am a big proprietor of never feel bad for bumping down the difficulty of a game because it's too hard. You know? And it's like, some people are really stubborn and want to push through. But like, for other people, it's like, there's no shame in lowering the difficulty of a game. There's no shame in it. So... What happened to Blue? She's on Do Not Disturb on her Discord, so I can't just ping her. Blue, where'd you go? I need to get going, so I may send you over to Max. Because I don't see anyone else streaming anything worth it. Max is playing Elden Ring. So, like, after they finish Reaper, they're like, wait, why did I bring up this again? Yeah, we might just go raid Max if Blue doesn't show up. Yeah, that'll be our raid message. My revolution failed, please. Because we had a Bowser revolution, I immediately lost all my money. Yeah, I do need to go pick up my child. Blue might start streaming at her normal time. She may still be napping. Please? Alright, if you are subbed to me, you can use my emotes. If you are not subbed to me, you can use whatever emotes you want. 165. Bloop. Max is awesome, super chill, playing Elden Ring right now. So yeah. Mondays are Final Fantasy 16. We're almost done with Final Fantasy 16. We got side quests to do next week, and then after that, we're gonna beat the game. And I may or may not do the DLC stories. I'm leaning towards no. With how my experience has been with the game so far, I am leaning towards no. That might be we can do it later. Who knows? Mondays are Final Fantasy 16, Tuesdays and Thursdays are some kind of Mario Party, and Wednesdays and Fridays are gonna be So thank you everyone for coming out and hanging out, and we will see you next time.